Welcome back to yesterday's OVA, featuring me, Steven, and this other person.
I'm Toby.
We watched Riding Bean. I think this is the best one we've watched so far.
That's the episode. That's the review.
And cut. That's all that needs to be said about Riding Bean.
All right. Anyways, we watched Riding Bean, 1989. I think this is probably the most recent one we've watched out of the batch so far.
Which explains why the animation is the best.
It's so good that they made 2 Blu-ray releases.
There's a Blu-ray of this?
Yeah, it's you can get the basic one for $30 or the deluxe edition for $60.
I need the deluxe Blu-ray of Bean.
I'll buy you the basic edition. All right.
I want to see Bean in 4K.
All right, we'll talk about Bean, but okay. Well, let's get our usual production stuff out of the way.
Yes.
This was made by studios AIC and Art Mike. They collabed on this one. You may know AIC from a couple of the Persona animations, Tenchi Muyo, some Bubblegum Crisis, and of course, they were the animators for Black Magic M66.
I know that one.
Yeah, of course you do. And Art Mike, they worked. They also worked on Bubblegum Crisis, Gatchaman. Not a lot of other stuff. They didn't have a huge record of stuff.
Didn't they also make gun cats or like gunsmith cats?
Oh yeah, that series ties heavily into this OVA.
It looks pretty similar,
and you'll find out why in a second. So this was planned as a series, but there was apparently a falling out between the writer Kenichi Sonoda and Toshiba for some reason. I don't know what that has to do with this not becoming a series, but his next thing was in fact Gunsmith Cats, and the 2 main characters in this, Bean and Rally, ended up being regular characters in that anime.
Oh, because I've only seen the OVA of Gunsmith Cats. I can't remember exactly. It was like years ago. But I remember watching this and thinking that it looked similar.
But yeah, it's a full series, and Bean and Rally in Gunsmith Cats are actually like not together. They're like they vary between ally and enemy. And Rally has her own car, which is based off of Percy's car in this.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's also another character which is a lot like Semmer in this. But yeah, so this OVA was kind of meant to be the first episode to a series, and it ended up not being one, so the characters kind of got stuffed into the next thing, which is, I think, cool.
It's cool, but Riding Bean should have had his own series. That would have been way better.
I think Riding Bean I think this works really well as just a one-off, you know? I feel like a series might kind of dilute the coolness of it.
I don't know. If this was a whole series, I'd watch it.
Yeah, same. But yeah, in 2016 there was a Kickstarter to get a second Blu-ray release, and you can go buy that just off the Anime Ego store. They're the ones who make all the dubs for pretty much everything we watch.
Well, as far as the dub goes,
oh, it's excellent. I enjoyed Elvis's performance.
He sounds like... I mean, I was going to say he sounds like Johnny Bravo, but of course Johnny Bravo is supposed to sound like Elvis.
Steven, I wrote that exact thing, and then I was like, you know what? He only sounds like Johnny Bravo like 30% of the time. I'll write Elvis.
'Cause you're going all the way back to the true source.
Yeah. Because I think he does sound a lot more like Elvis than Johnny Bravo. I originally wrote Johnny Bravo mixed with Steven Seagal, and then I just backtracked it to Elvis.
He sounds... Every single line he delivers is like so strange. No part of this is like acted like a normal human would act.
You really are a dumb shit. Using the same truck as both trap and getaway car. Setting me up to look like a common criminal. I'm gonna make mincemeat out of you.
But it's magical. You have to admit, it's magical.
It's great.
It's wonderful.
I I strongly recommend this. Anyone listening to this should watch Riding Bean.
I don't think we have to even give a spoiler warning, do we?
No, because you can watch Riding Bean
An infinite amount of times.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you know what happens or not.
Because what we tell you here will not compare to what you'll watch.
Yeah, it's fine. Just go. Yeah.
Now I don't think this is the best of the 4 we watched. I think I still like Gray Digital Target more, but I did enjoy this a lot. I think I'd put it at a close second.
I'll put it as a close first, above Gray Digital Target.
All right. Want to do a recap? The first scene's kind of weird,
but it's not the weirdest scene. That comes later.
Oh yeah, this movie has some weird themes in it, which kind of made me uncomfortable.
Let's just talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's some people are robbing a bank, and they have a naked girl hostage, and I don't understand why she's naked. It could have just been a bank teller, but I don't know why she's naked.
This OVA, like all of the ones we've watched, there is a recurring theme of just totally unnecessary female nudity.
Well, it's an OVA, so they can do that if they want, and they will. They're Japanese.
It was a different time.
No, because I'm pretty sure it'll still happen.
You're right. This is Japan we're talking about.
If it's an OVA, you can expect some degree of anime titty.
Good.
Okay, so yeah, the bank robbers, they're taking money. They're taking the naked girl, but they're not taking shit from cops because they just blow one's head off with a shotgun from like 20 feet away.
Brutal.
I guess that the girl was their weird attempt at taking a hostage, but it didn't really work because the cops are still firing at them, and the robbers themselves tried to shoot her.
Yeah, the cops don't care at all.
Yeah, so it was a weird one. So our protag Bean pulls up with his whip as an escape vehicle, and drives off. And as they're escaping the cops, they run into this semi truck that's blocking the road. But it don't matter to Bean because his wheels can go sideways. He's driving the Mach 5 from Speed Racer.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, so like he turns the wheels sideways like Speed Racer and then drives off. And then all of the cops who are chasing him just run directly into the semi-truck. It was
just a 20-car pileup.
Yeah. It's like, what was their plan exactly? Were they just going to crash into Bean? The cops in this are, like, wildly incompetent.
I love the cops in this, though.
They're great, but they are not good at their jobs.
Again, we have the recurring theme of, like, a cool G.I. Joe army.
Yeah, with just like random one-liners that are extremely well dubbed, just thrown in everywhere.
Or very badly dubbed, which is also good.
Yeah.
Why don't we just charge in there, Inspector? With this many men, he won't last a second against us!
So yeah, they escape, and a security camera spots them and takes some pictures of Bean in his car and the passengers. More on that later. It's a pretty important plot point.
Mm-hmm.
And Bean takes like most of the money from the robbery.
He's sort of the opposite of the driver from Drive.
I've never seen Drive, so you'll have to explain further.
Well, in Drive, Ryan Gosling, he like never says anything, and he's like basically he's like kind of a good guy. He's like a real human being.
Oh, like Baby Driver.
Yeah. But this guy, he starts off, he's like kind of a douchebag. He's like, you amateurs, this is my money.
Well, he's the one with the cool car.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He earned it with the sick getaway, but...
So yeah, Bean takes the money, he leaves. The robbers get in their own car. Turns out they were not only wearing masks, they were wearing prosthetics, and furthermore, wigs. And both of them are women.
And masks in this world, like, completely, perfectly change your face to make you look like a different human being.
Because they're made of cartoons.
Yeah.
So after that, we're at Bean's apartment. Starting the morning off right with some anime titty, guns, toast, more guns. There's a lot of guns in this apartment.
There are. And then she attempts to wake up Bean. Well, we should explain who she is.
Yeah, it's his partner, Riley.
/ girlfriend? ?
Yeah. Not in Gunsmith Cats, though. In this, yeah.
Okay. And she attempts to wake him up with a taser.
To the throat.
But that does not work. And so she has to put a hot frying pan on his face. And at the time, I thought that this was just a gag. But then this turns out to be like foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing for a really weird character detail, which is never explained.
No. But I think we can get more into that later.
Yeah. It's what makes Bean so cool.
Yes, but I think suffice to say that this is heavy foreshadowing.
Yeah, I was like, shouldn't his face be like melted off with that frying pan? But
you'd think.
Yeah. At first I thought Riley was like a cop because she was holstering guns like a cop.
That's what I thought too.
I was like, dang, Riley's a cop woman who's teamed up with this criminal. That's pretty badass. But then they're just both criminals.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, oh, he's dating a cop and she doesn't know.
Oh, I was going to be like, oh, she does know. But she's like, gotta protect my BF.
But no.
Yeah, so they're just two driving mercs. And a guy and a girl arrive at their apartment to hire them for a job. They escape from some kidnappers. And then at this time, as soon as they show up, we cut to Inspector Percy, who I think is a really nice character.
Maybe the best.
Yeah. One of the I think like a deputy or something shows up in like the police garage, and he's like, Percy, the chief's looking for you. And then he's like, whoa, that's a nice car. Is it a Mustang? And then Percy's like, ha, it's a Cobra.
That's a nice car. Is it a Mustang?
It's a Cobra.
And he has like an almost sexual sort of pride in his car.
Well, yeah. He has like, he said that Bean has caused like 74 police cars like total. So Percy's like the hotshot cop that's like obsessed with having a better whip to catch him in.
I've got to get that bean.
Gotta get that bean. But the chief puts him on the Grimwood kidnapping case, and those are the people that showed up at Bean's place.
And there is some brief political commentary here, where Percy tries to get out of it because he just wants to chase Bean in his cool new car, and he's like, forget this. And the chief says, don't you know how much Grimwood pays in taxes? So it's like implying that they gotta really go after this case because he pays so many taxes. Other than this, I would not describe this OVA as being particularly political, would you?
No. Where does this take place in?
They say Tokyo like one time.
They said you can, with the money or whatever, you can build a house in Tokyo. With $1 million, you can build a house in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I feel like this takes place in like New York.
But then why would he reference Tokyo?
And another thing is that most of the characters have southern accents. So, it's hard to place it on a map.
I feel like if it was in America, they would have said like, oh, that can buy you a house in Beverly Hills or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this just takes place in America Town, USA.
Maybe it takes like how there's Little Tokyo in America. Maybe this takes place in like Little New York in Japan.
I like that idea. Let's
just go with that.
Little America.
That'll be my headcanon for this.
Alright, same. So yeah, Bean takes the job from the guy, Morris. And then Morris gets immediately Swiss cheesed by some goons across the street.
Well, we should say he agrees to the job, which is safely transporting this little girl back to her mansion.
Yeah, for $50,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And then Morris gets Swiss cheese. And then the goons shoot up the whole, like, apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Bean just has a bunch of bullets in his jacket. And I'm like, wow, none of those bullets penetrated his jacket. Crazy. At this point, I still couldn't, figure out the fact that Bean is basically indestructible.
Well, I think that was just supposed to be the jacket.
Hey, Toby from the future here. I just wanted to say that, anything past Toby says about Bean being bulletproof or indestructible is wrong. And Steven was right, and I want to apologize to him for my ignorance. Thank you. No, I think this is supposed to be the tip-off that Bean is literally Superman. Because, yeah, he is bulletproof.
I think this is just supposed to be the jacket that is bulletproof. But I will talk about this point more later. I think there's further evidence of this.
I heavily disagree, but okay.
But then,
I have evidence to the contrary. So
okay, well this will be to be discussed later.
All right,
but the girl survives.
Yeah, they're still gonna take her. They Riley was recording the conversation, so they would have proof to present once they got there to prove they weren't the kidnappers.
Yeah. So even though, like, bodyguard guy is dead, they're still doing it.
And yeah, so they leave. But it turns out Morris was the woman robber from the night before, in prosthetics again. and yeah, the bullets were fake.
Yeah, they were like squibs. Isn't that what you call them?
Sure. Probably. You work in production, you should know.
Yeah, squibs.
You've worked on Food Network shows, you should know what these are.
I'm pretty sure they're called squibs. But yeah, so he was actually she and was alive all along.
Yeah, so at this point I'm thinking, oh, obviously the little girl they took was just the little girl from the night before. Wrong. That was the real little girl. The robber little girl is holding Mr. Grimwood locked up in the hotel.
Yes.
And here's where we get weird.
Okay, before we talk about this scene, I think we should explain what the plan is.
Yeah.
So then there's like a scene with the police. And there's like a CCTV photo of Bean's getaway from the robbery. And one of the robbers looks just like the girl that they are now transporting.
Yeah, so she intentionally disguised as the little girl so the CCTV would take pictures of her looking like the kidnapped girl.
Yeah. But Bean doesn't know that this is the kidnapped girl.
Yeah, so they've completely set him up to get copped on.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, the kidnappers have her dad, who they are...
He was gonna make a ransom deal for $2 million, but instead they just captured him, right?
Yeah, so now they have the dad and the money, and the cops will be distracted chasing Bean and the girl, and then they'll make a run for it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that's the plan.
Yeah. I think they were going to also take... I don't really know why they were going to take Mr. Grimwood with them, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll just throw him in a lake later or something.
Okay. But yeah. Here's where we get... Like I said, weird. This little girl isn't like a woman who looks like a little girl. It literally is just like a 12-year-old girl.
But they purposely avoid saying how old she is, so it's not too weird.
But it's very weird.
It is.
Because Mr. Grimwood's like, oh, thank you for the tea. I need to piss. Can you leave? And she's like, but it's hard to do with those handcuffs. Let me help you unzip. and he's like, he says no, and he freaking punches her, and she pulls a knife on him. And then her boss Semmer comes in. She's the older one, and here we find out that Semmer is kind of messed up. Actually, before this, Mr. Grimwood's like, "What's your relation to the other lady?" And the girl, who I think is named Carrie, she says, "Oh, we're lovers." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What?"
Would you let me watch TV or listen to the radio?
No way! Simmer will get mad at me.
Exactly what is she to you?
She's my lover.
But how old are you anyway?
It isn't polite to ask a lady her age. Anyway, hurry up and eat.
It's also like heavily implied that they have like a weird like dom sub thing going on.
Yeah, but I think Carrie is like an actual just little girl, so Semmer is a lesbian pedophile.
Also, it might be implied that she is like a hermaphrodite. Did you pick up on that?
No. Oh, wait. Actually, kinda.
Because Mr. Grimwood is there, and she tells him that the boss says she's really good at it.
Then I'll clean it up.
Hey, you!
It's okay. I'm great at it. Simmer always praises me.
Stop it!
Is Semmer trans?
I think that is what is being implied by this.
It's hard to figure out. All I know is that Semmer's a piece of shit and Carrie's a retard. She's really dumb.
Yeah, we've talked enough about this scene. This scene is just really weird.
Yeah, we know who the villains are now.
Yeah.
Carrie pulls a knife on Mr. Grimwood because he friggin' punched her because he's like, hell no, I'm not a pedophile.
Mr. Grimwood? One last thing about this scene. He sounds like Hank Hill.
Yeah, like I was saying, they're all Southern. Even Semmer has a Southern accent.
Yeah.
So, she brandishes a knife at him, and then Semmer comes in, beats the hell out of Carrie, and calls her a little slut. And it's really uncomfortable at this point. Because it's like, okay, not only is she a trans lesbian pedophile, but she's also a child abuser, and she's crazy.
This scene kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this villainy.
Like, everything before this, it's like, oh man, like, retro wave looking, like, future funk man, like, cruises around in his car. And it's like, suddenly this scene.
Yeah. So, the Bean Gang arrives at Grimwood Mansion, and they're like, okay, let them in. They have the girl, and they get trapped in. They get surrounded by a bunch of goons, and I really like this scene. Bean's exchange with the head goon.
Yeah, this is a cool scene.
Yeah, Bean plays the tape of the deal he made with Morris, and the goons are all like, there isn't a guy named Morris, you idiot.
And then they think Bean is the kidnapper.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, where's Mr. Grimwood? And Bean's like, I don't follow you. What's going on?
Is that all you got to say? There are no guards here named Morris. Where's the chairman and the money?
I don't follow you.
Mr. George Grimwood. He took $2 million to make the trade with you bastards this morning.
No, but listen.
And so the head goon hawks a big Siggy loogie on his face.
On the no, even worse, on his car.
Yeah, he's like, your car is a hunk of trash, and Bean gets angry. And then he spits on his face. So Bean buckles up, shoves a fistful of walnuts in his mouth, chomps them, and then here is where Bean is bulletproof, and you cannot deny this. He gets shot with the shotgun twice in the head. All right?
No, I don't think it hit him.
It did. It did hit him.
No, I think it's supposed to just be like
it was point blank, Steven.
Window.
No. They shot him with it twice, and then the third time it hit him again, and he's like, ow, that hurts.
I think that's because the glass shattered.
Oh my god. There is so much evidence that he is literally Superman. How can you tell me he's not bulletproof?
I don't think the shotgun. I don't think it's supposed to be like he got shot. It's supposed to be like the.
It doesn't take three shots to break a window, Steven, with a shotgun.
No, I don't think the other ones hit him.
Oh my! They drive off to and then they stop a bit to let the girl out, but they deploy an anti-tank rifle against Bean, so he just has to drive off.
Which sort of brings up the question of why they had that in the first place.
Because they know. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Why does Grimwood have an anti-tank rifle at his mansion?
True. And then the cops show up to get in the mansion. But Bean's like backing out towards the exit, and then he just like stops right next to Inspector Percy, and he's like, "Yo, Percy, my man, how's life?" And so he just has a conversation with Percy about all what's going on.
Yeah. And then he just leaves.
Yeah, he's like, I can't let her out because they're firing at me. And he just leaves. So now we're at the American gas station.
You know, you're right. Actually, thinking about the gas station and like the roller skate waitress and stuff, it does seem really American.
Everything's American about this, dude. I think they just mentioned Japan because, it's expensive in Japan.
You know what? I think it is America. I think you're right.
No, we'll stick with your little America theory here.
Sticking with it out of spite.
Yeah. So the kidnappers and the Bean gang are at the same rest stop. They don't know yet, but Bean notices that. So at this point, Bean's like pieced together all this stuff because Percy showed him the CCTV pictures. So Bean's figured out that he's been set up, and he notices the same semi-truck that that made him take the detour to get caught by the CCTV. And he noticed that it's like super dented from the 20 car pileup.
The police just running into it.
Yeah. So he has Riley shoot at it, and we get the car chase.
Yeah, so then he's chasing the semi-truck with Grimwood and the kidnappers, and then the police are chasing him. And I think
Not yet.
No?
No, the police don't chase yet.
Oh, this is the catch up later.
Yeah, there's two chases back to back. But yeah, he's like, you really are a dumb shit to Sever in the semi truck. And what's the guy's name? I can't figure it out.
What guy?
Rick.
Oh, the guy
Rick,
driving
the
semi-truck?
Yeah, he's just chucking bucket loads of grenades out the window.
He panics.
Yeah, he panics, and then Summer's like, oh, get my bag up off the floor. And he bends down, he's like, where is it? And she just pops him twice with a gun.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I hate Summer. She sucks.
Yeah, for some reason, that was the only death in this that, like, was kind of upsetting to me.
There's a lot of needless deaths, but yeah, that one's like, I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, his head kind of acts as the brick on the gas pedal, and so she goes into the back of the semi-truck, and there's just another car back there. So she gets in with Mr. Grimwood and Carrie, and they fly out the semi-truck. Semi-truck barrels off this unfinished road, and so Bean activates his Mach 5 insta brakes and doesn't fall off the unfinished road. He turns around, and this is where we get the second car chase.
Yeah. And then the cops are there.
Yeah, cops show up. Okay, this one you cannot deny. You cannot deny.
Wait, there's one right here?
Yes. Percy and Bean get right up next to each other. Percy literally shoots him right in the face twice, and then Bean's just like, shove it, asshole, because he's fine.
But there's a really, my favorite part of this fight scene, and of this car chase, and easily my favorite, like, cop moment in this, is when the cops like get ahead of them and are like, oh, we're gonna cut them off, like we're gonna make a roadblock. And so two cops just just run like head on into each other, just head on collide, and then they're like a second too late, and so Bean is already past them down the road, and then Percy just runs right through him anyway, and he's like, out of my way. So not only did they basically like both kill themselves to create this roadblock, but it didn't.
They weren't dead. They weren't dead. They were fine.
Okay, they've like severely injured themselves to create this
They
roadblock.
didn't. No, you can see their faces. They're fine. They're just like, whoa.
Okay, they have totaled 2 police cars to make this, right? But then it didn't even work because Percy is able to get through them in 1 second.
Yeah.
The police are like extremely incompetent.
They have a lot of cars, though.
They have endless cars.
That's all that really matters in little America.
They're going for quantity over quality, except for Percy.
So back to the car chase. Bean Gang gets right up next to Semra Gang, and Riley apparently just has a million guns on her. And she has a special hole in the passenger seat door just to fire out of, which is pretty funny.
I liked that.
There's gospel music playing this entire car chase. A nice choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Percy gets caught up in a 10,000 car pileup that was off screen, but we see the pileup. It's just huge.
As usual.
Yeah, it's funny. He's fine though. And so this is our final set piece, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a long OVA. I don't think it's 45 minutes.
Oh, you're right. It's 45 minutes.
Yeah,
a great 45 minutes.
Yeah, it goes by pretty quick. So yeah, they get in the garage and Bean gets out to go, kill Semmer and all that. And Chelsea, who's the little girl, she's like, oh, he's gonna go fight the bad guy, so he's a good guy, right? And Riley's like, hell no. But he's like, he likes being a good guy sometimes. He watches at least 2 films a week with heroic things in them.
I really liked that too. Like, she couldn't even just say something nice to like calm down this like kid. She's like, is he good? No.
Like, no, we're criminals, dude.
She's not even gonna lie to her to be nice.
Yeah, so Samara thinks she has the upper hand. She's like hiding in a different car, and has like a walkie-talkie, in the car she got out of, and then Bean's talking into that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like aiming a gun at him, and this is the part where I kill you, Steven, because I'm right. He is bulletproof. Because she shoots him a lot and he's fine. He's just fine. He gets hit by every single bullet and he's just fine.
All right.
You have to concede.
He is Superman in that he has superhuman strength because he punches right through a car door.
No, hold on. He's bulletproof.
No. His jacket is bulletproof.
That's dumb.
That I'm pretty sure this is true. And later, the only time he really gets shot is when he gets shot in the forehead.
Look, yeah, he gets shot in the forehead and he's fine.
But he gets shot in the right in the headband.
Oh, what? You think the headband is made out of friggin' fabric titanium, like friggin' Robin the Boy Wonder's cape, huh?
The headband is made of the same fabric as the jacket.
That doesn't even make sense. Just because you make a friggin' headband out of Kevlar doesn't mean it's bulletproof. Doesn't mean it'll save you from a headshot.
If you notice, it's always... Well, yeah, they also don't have, like, jacket-thin Kevlar. I mean, this is, like, sci-fi technology. But if you notice, the bullets
how is it sci-fi technology?
The
it takes place in the 80s.
Yeah, so does Blade Runner.
We know what time period this takes place in.
It's like, I contend that while he is super strong, he is not bulletproof. and he could have died in this fight.
I'm gonna beat you up next time I see you.
If he was completely bulletproof,
I'm gonna see if you're bulletproof. Steven.
No, now look, listen. Okay, if he was completely bulletproof, why would he bother, like, sneaking around, dealing with her at all? Why wouldn't he just walk right up to her and just punch her in the face and like kill her in one hit? If he was bulletproof, he wouldn't have to.
Because he didn't know where she
was
at first. That's why he cut the walkie-talkie to get her to make a noise when it made a noise in her ear. And then he did walk right up to her, even though she was shooting at him.
He could just walk around and look for her.
Yeah, but the walkie-talkie, he did walk right up to her once he knew where she was, even though she was shooting at him. You cannot deny.
Anyway, that is what I think. I don't think that his like skin is bulletproof.
No, this guy's Superman. He's bulletproof. You're not.
I know I'm not bulletproof.
So Bean jabs his hand through a car door and then just rips it off. Super strength, all right?
Yeah, and other than the opening where he gets tased and like frying panned, this is like the first we're seeing of his super strength.
But you won't say that the tasing and the frying pan to the face aren't like a hint that he's an indestructible boy?
That is true. And those were directly to the skin.
Directly to the skin. A frying pan to your face? Come on.
But just the fact that he never gets shot right on the epidermis.
Dude, he's always getting shot.
Something just makes me feel like it was the jacket.
No, because remember during the police chase, they shoot him in the head with the shotgun.
It was the window. You can see.
Oh my god. Anyway, Riley gets out of the car to go find Bean and stuff because at this point, Semmer's running around trying to escape, throwing grenades at him. And so Semmer's goon, her third goon or something, pops out and holds Chelsea hostage in front of Riley. But Riley's like, I don't know if this is the real Chelsea or the fake one, so I'm just gonna wait here for a second. But meanwhile, we know where the fake one is because she's being held hostage by Summer, and Bean doesn't like kids getting killed or whatever. So
it's his one line, which is a good line to have if you're a criminal.
So Bean drops the knife, and Semmer shoots him in the head, point blank. Albeit on the headband, but in the head, point blank, literally against his forehead. All right.
I've said all I have to say on this issue.
Oh my! It's not a future fabric. What are you talking about?
I have said my piece.
This takes
on
place
this
in
topic.
1989.
I've said all there is to say on this.
Whatever. So the bullet hitting him like point blank makes him go a bit loopy. He's like, ooh, but he slaps the gun away. So Semmer gets in a car, slams into him, causing him to unretard. And then he lifts her car, and they both start laughing for some reason. Then he just flips her. And then Riley finesses the goon and kills him. He's like, okay, throw me your gun. She just throws the magazine with one bullet left and shoots him in the head.
People in movies rarely survive these sorts of standoffs, you know?
Yeah. So Carrie tries to tell Bean what the money is to save Semmer, but Semmer's like, no, and she tries to shoot Carrie, but she misses anyways. Either way, she ignites the gas that's spilling out of the flipped car, and that's the end of Semmer. There's no twist or anything. She's actually dead.
Yeah,
she got blown up.
I would like to see a Mythbusters episode look into whether or not firing a gun while you are kneeling in gasoline will like incinerate you. But for the purposes of this movie,
I mean,
it's fine.
wouldn't it ignite like the gas fumes?
You know, considering all the other things that happen in this movie, I'm fine with it. You know,
I feel like that's the most realistic thing in this movie.
The most realistic thing in this movie is probably the cops. Boom. Commentary.
Yeah, because they're blocking the exits.
I really liked how while this whole like garage fight scene is going on, they like briefly go to Percy, and some random cop is like, "Oh, Percy, we gotta just charge in." And Percy says, "I wouldn't be doing all of this if regular tactics worked." Which I think really shows that Percy is the only one who has grasped this situation.
Yeah, Percy is able to adapt as an officer. The whole reason he got his sick whip was just to catch Bean, because he's like, hey, with the regular cop car, I'm gonna get freaking totaled. He's already totaled so many of our cars. I gotta restore this sick ass whip. Trust me, guys, this is necessary. And it works for a bit, until he gets totaled again. But
yeah,
he's kind of right.
Mm-hmm. Percy is the only one who gets what's happening here.
Yeah, Percy's awesome. So the Grimwoods are reunited. Bean drives off. He goes back to Carrie and he's like, "Hey, I'll give you a lift because there's a lot of cops out there. You're not gonna get out of here." She points a gun at him, and Bean's like, "Hey, kid, she tried to shoot you like twice." She's like, "Okay." So she gets in the car, she sleeps. And they have a sick Warriors reference here, where all the cops are just chanting, "Roadbuster, come out and play."
Yeah, that was also kind of out of nowhere.
I enjoyed it.
It was great.
His car. Is he called Roadbuster? I guess they just know Bean as a Roadbuster. That's his criminal name.
Yeah, don't they? But I mean, Bean cannot be his real name, can it?
Sure, it can. Because Raleigh isn't a name. Semmerling isn't a name.
Raleigh is a name.
No, it isn't. Shut up.
Yeah, it is.
Raleigh's not a name. That's a fast food restaurant, dude.
It's a real name.
Okay. So Bean guns it towards the exit. Credits roll. It's a nice little cliffhanger because we all know Bean's gonna escape anyways. He's a badass.
Yeah, I don't see Percy stopping him this time.
Yeah. And that, I guess they had it that way anyways because it was supposed to be a series, but it just wasn't. So, that's fine.
I wish this was a series.
Yeah. And I guess probably Carrie would have just joined them, right?
Yeah, she could be like the sidekick.
The slutty little girl sidekick who's a lesbian.
The classic sidekick.
Classic. But yeah, that was the movie. Just kind of a nice little tale, wrapped up quite nicely. It definitely you can see how it was just supposed to be an episode.
Yeah.
It was very self-contained.
It's extremely aesthetic, too.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Ratings? I didn't write anything down ratings-wise, so you're gonna have to lead us this time.
Maybe we could just rate the whole thing overall.
No. We gotta break it down, dude. Okay. It's important.
Okay. In that case, I would say, starting with like art / animation, I'm feeling like an 8. It looks great. The animation is great. It's the best of the 4 in that department for sure.
It's very good.
Characters, I like all the characters. Percy is a great sympathetic villain. The cops are hilarious.
I don't know. Percy's not a villain. He's an antagonist. He's not a villain, though. The villain is Semmer, which nobody likes. She sucks and makes me hate her, which I think makes her a good character.
You're right.
I like Bean and Raleigh because they're the good guys of the movie, but they're not good guys. They are just mercenaries.
I really like Bean. He's a driver that kind of talks like Elvis, and he just looks like a chin connected to hair with a headband, and he's got a sweet car.
I swear his chin like mutates during the movie. It has all sorts of shapes.
Yeah, he is. You know how in Dragon Ball there's like 10 different ways to draw Goku?
Yeah, there's good Goku, angry Goku, dad Goku, happy Goku.
No, I mean like in terms of like the character model.
Oh,
like how in some episodes Vegeta has like the giant forehead, and then sometimes he doesn't.
We should just be talking about Steven Universe then. They have a different character model for every single scene.
This basically suffers from that as well.
Yeah, Bean has Steven Universe syndrome.
He almost doesn't have a consistent face at all.
Yeah, and he's indestructible.
Just like, he just has like a chin. His whole head is basically a chin.
Yeah.
He almost looks like Moon Man.
I was trying to say that, but his name's not Moon Man. Moon Man is the racist singer.
Oh,
based on Mac Tonight.
Oh yeah, that's the real name.
Yeah, you can't call him Moon Man.
No, that's what I meant. It was Mac Tonight. I actually did not know what the original was called.
Yeah, don't say Moon Man.
Well, yeah,
because you've heard a Moon Man song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he looks like Mac Tonight.
Yeah.
I think I love Bean.
Yeah, Bean's good. I like Rally too. She's nice, but she will kill you.
Yeah, she's cool.
She was good. Chelsea had like 3 lines, so I don't need to talk about her.
Yeah.
Rick died immediately.
Hank Hill is in this.
Yeah, I guess there were only like 5 real characters, but
I like the cops.
Story.
I liked the story. I did not see the twist coming.
Yeah, there were some nice twists. Even at the beginning, there were twists that like didn't make sense, but like they reveal stuff later on. It's like, oh.
On the topic of things that don't make sense, I do like the story. I like the twist, but I don't think it 100% makes sense because the kidnappers, they shoot up the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the what's her name? Semmer?
Yeah.
Semmer does not get shot. She fakes being shot with squibs.
Yeah.
But the bullets being fired were real.
Yeah, it's
like Bean actually gets shot. And
I would assume they just weren't aiming for Semmer though,
Yeah, and Bean says that the only reason the girl didn't get shot is because he kicked her chair over.
Yeah.
So if their whole plan was to get Bean to take the girl and lead the cops on a merry ride, why are they trying to kill Bean and the girl in this shooting?
Well,
like,
obviously they weren't aiming at the girl and they weren't aiming at Semmer, but they just made it seem like they were.
No, but her chair got like blasted, and Bean, unless they knew that Bean was either indestructible or had an indestructible jacket, we're not getting back into this. Unless they knew that, why were they shooting at Bean?
Well, look, you think Semmer hires unprofessionals? Rick's the only guy who kind of freaked out, but he was still pretty good at his job.
But Bean,
Semmer has hired some skilled ass guys to shoot up that apartment. That marksman.
I don't think she did, because I think Bean would have died if he'd been a normal dude.
Wrong, because Bean's bulletproof. But
do they know that?
No, obviously not, because when Bean confronts Semmer, she tries to shoot at him. She's like, oh.
Well, then why did they shoot at him in the office shooting?
Because they didn't know he was indestructible.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then they shouldn't have been shooting at him, because their whole plan is to get him to take the girl for a ride.
What?
Okay. The shooters are working for Semmer, right?
Yes.
The plan is to get Bean to take the girl for a ride and distract the cops, right?
Yeah, I think the whole reason they were shooting up the apartment was to make it look like they killed Morris, which was actually Semmer.
Exactly. So then why do they try to kill Bean?
Good point. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So their plan doesn't 100% make sense, but I will forgive it because the movie is so aesthetic and great otherwise.
All right.
See, I thought about this.
I mean, a little bit. How about music? There's only like 5 tracks, but they're all really good.
They didn't need more than 5 tracks.
Yeah, it's got a pretty small OST. I can't really find a good compilation of it anywhere, but I am managing to track down the individual tracks. Very, very Western 80s themed.
I thought it was great, fitting.
Yeah, it's like Vice City.
Yeah.
What other categories of ratings did we have?
I think those are the categories we do.
Art, character, story, music?
Yeah, and then we do overall.
Overall? What would you give it overall?
8 out of 10. It's great.
Same. 8 out of 10 for me.
I think this is the first time we've given something the same score.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten pretty close before, but yeah. 8 out of 10.
That's a sign for the listeners that this is a must-watch.
I'd say everything we watch is probably a must-watch.
I would agree that they're all worth watching, but I would say only this and Grey Digital Target are like the strong recommends from me.
Yeah, and if you're a JoJo fan, definitely watch Bao. If you're a Ghost in the Shell fan, definitely watch Black Magic.
That is true. If you get to see like the backstory for the creator, I guess.
Right. Okay, yeah. Official rating 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Nice. What are we going to watch next time?
Do you know?
Spy Kids.
Okay.
Spy Kids 2.
2?
Actually, wait.
I think you're thinking of 3D.
No, I actually want to watch Spy Kids 2.
But 3D is the one with like the dingster.
Yeah, I don't care. I want to watch Spy Kids 2. Island of Dreams or whatever.
We'll talk about this later.
All right. But we are watching Spy Kids 2. All right. You guys will hear from us next time.
Put in outro music.
All right, here's the outro music.
All right.
You really are a dumb shit.